Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Painting with a Grumpy Old Man. I am your host, Mike Tarver, that grumpy old man. Let's see if I can get this thing running right now. Okay. I got that air conditioner running out here. I'm going to cut that off because it's making too much noise. I'll just cut it completely down. Alright. Get that on there good. Alright, so that's where I'm at. Ow. Let's see what we got going on here today. Alright. Hey! Megsupa and Carol Rocket. I see. I'm going to guess your name is Carol. I may be wrong. It won't be the first time that I've been wrong. But welcome to the show. Thank you. Hey, thank you for coming. Always good to have folks here. Usually get one or two folks to come hang out with me. Today I'm going to paint a different piece, a different kind of piece. I'm going to paint something that is a little more kooky, I guess. I keep knocking stuff all around, sorry about that. Okay. Aprendiendo dibujar. Hello, welcome to Painting with the Grumpy Old Man. So, it's going to do a little bit of a kind of a different take today. Make it a little more, a little funner painting today. But I'll stay basically within my premise. It will be Impressionism of a sort. Get my hands to work. Use my professional artist tools here. Which are sometimes hard to hold still for some reason. I'm just trying to make a circle, people. Okay. I'm going to lean in. You got to see my ugly face for a second, but that's okay. Finish my circle up there. That will eventually be some kind of a planet. Believe it or not, English is my first language. So, I'm going to put some black out right now, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to draw an outline of what I'm doing. A little water on the brush. I'm working with acrylics, and my skyline is going to be a little lower today. I usually have it. And I'm going to be painting a big old picture up here in the sky. I won't keep you in suspense in case you can't tell exactly what it is I'm painting. It's going to be a picture, P-I-T-C-H-E-R. You have a handle back here. Nothing fancy. Just up a fat handle. That won't be the final color, but that'll be the color for right now. Okay. So I want to actually bring the mountains up a little bit. I have a few mountains running through here. Okay. I don't know, maybe I'll have something doing that. We'll see. Okay. But I'm going to have a water line right about there. I like to paint fantasies, imaginary places I want to go. And so we're going to do that. I'm going to start with some blue on my palette. I use glass. Hey, grand artist. Sheldon, right? Good to hear from you. And the sky is going to be rather darker tonight than normal. A little bit of that. I have a pink background already painted on here. I like pink because it lets the glow come through. And so that's what I want to do today. Make a nice glowy thing. And I'm going to stir up top the way I usually do, with dashes and dots and stuff. And I won't have the light so much in this one. I'll have multiple colors, but I won't have as much light out. The light I add will actually be around this round orb here, this planet, as you look. Just make something different. Some different colors and stuff than I normally do. There will be stars all over all this stuff, and I'll brighten it up with whites. And this is kind of a dark purple that's going on here right now. And I have quite a bit of paint on my palette, on my canvas already. It's already on there. Hi, Sheldon. I'm glad you joined me, brother. Let's see. I'm going to lean in. Sorry about my face. Let's see. Carol Chocolate or chocolate. I don't know. I'm terrible at names. I'm going to call you Carol. I could call you Max Artist if you'd like. It doesn't matter. We're all friends here. I've been called a lot worse things. So, and I'm doing a kind of a weird painting of a nighttime sky, I think. But if you've watched me before, you know that ideas change as I let my imagination go. Having a pretty good day today, except I have a cold. I have a little chest cold. Always fun. It's not COVID, don't worry. It's just a regular old chest cold. And I love all these colors. They're so pretty. Go with a deep blue down here. This is a pretty dark blue. And I'm intermixing the purples and magentas and the blues. In between, I'm filling up my sky really quickly, actually, not worrying too much about perfection. Perfection is the enemy of art. I'm trying not to cover up my my different drawings. Just trying to get some different things in here. I am varying my colors though. There's 3 or 4 different shades of the dark going in here. Different colors of the dark. Just a little bit of the pink showing through in the background, so get a little sparkle in our night. And this is going to be a night I love doing night scenes. I do a lot of them. And there's a misconception that if you do a night scene, it has to be dark. Sometimes they have the most glow. I mean, you need glow. Glow is beautiful. And you can get some good glow on night scenes. You know, if you guys have painted before, you know that you can get some pretty nice looking stuff. But yeah, good day. A little overcast, but it's still comfortable. Not too hot, not too cold. And in Georgia, it gets hot quick, so gotta be careful. I have the air conditioner cut off because it's really loud. So the key is, I need to finish this. Hey, nice Clegg. I love what you painted last night. Love when you're live. Looked like looking down on an alien landscape, and I don't know, watching dragons fight each other as you work the paint. Really interesting. Really interesting. Almost hypnotizing watching that. I really enjoyed it. I like watching other artists do their gig. Never think that just because you're an artist, you can't learn something from other artists, because you absolutely can. I like to look at other people's art, watch their process. It's interesting. Now you probably noticed I'm over here applying some lighter color because I want a soft glow off this little planety looking thing here, but not too bright. I don't want it too bright. I'll get it brighter later. The brightest right next to it, and then fading out into the dark sky. And really, Impressionism is about painting your object as quickly as possible, getting it at a certain time. For me, it's a time in my imagination. If I paint outside and I'm painting other objects, then it actually happens to be whatever time of day it actually is. If I'm out painting a beach or in the woods painting a waterfall or something. And I have a lot of paintings that I don't paint on lives because they take an extraordinary amount of time to do. And just really want to get through a painting, and I can do it this week. I paint quickly even if I'm not here, don't get me wrong. I'll still fly through them. If I spend more than an hour on a painting, that's it. It's a masterpiece or something, I don't know. But I got a little lighter glow here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's there. Take my word for it. Come back over here. The corners should be dark. Like dark corners. Brings everything, your eye to the middle of the painting. I'm going to change the color up just slightly inside this handle. And this picture here will become much lighter when I fill it in. Put some bling on it. Put the bling on the thing, man. Got a little bit of black in there, that's fine. Anything works. Let's see. Yeah, I love doing fantasy paintings too. I don't think I've ever done a painting looking down on a coast before in this fashion. It was really neat, And the little pirate ship way off in the distance was pretty sweet. If I'm being honest, I like that little pirate ship. Now this is a little gray here, but I'm going to come back and get this later with different colors and stuff. Or maybe I'll leave it. What the heck, it looks pretty cool. Yeah, fantasy paintings, they're pretty awesome. Thousands of little dashes and dots, lots of movement. Grand artist, if you guys ever get a chance to look at his work, he has a lot of motion in his work, and it's really cool. Really visually pleasing to look at. I'm not going to be pulling out the blending brush today, so today I want my night sky to be rather turbulent looking. You can do that by small strokes, but I've seen some really gorgeous pictures that have larger strokes that don't look monolithic. They look, you know, they look very textural, very like they have good motion in them, but they use a larger brush. And I almost did one of those today, but then my imagination got the best of me, so I said I'd do this. Saw something in my mind, I said I want to do that. And I know it seems like a little weird idea here, folks, but it's actually pretty cool when I get done with it. I've sold paintings like this before, not exactly like this. I mean, there's multiple differences in the way I lay each one out. But one of the big problems you have when you're doing these lives is coming up with new material so you don't bore the heck out of everybody, you know what I mean? Bore the people that are watching you. Oh, you painted that one yesterday. And that can happen, man. And I like watching other people paint. Really love to watch because you don't know what they're really doing, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, there's a picture there, and you're like, where the heck did that sucker come from? That was really cool. There's all sorts of colors up in this mug. Kind of a few more darks up in here. All dark movement. I think I'm good with that. See if I can get a little bit of dark up here. That's just a little too light for my taste. That's just a little darkness. I won't transition, but I don't want, in this particular case, I don't want broad transition because it's going to be covered with stars, and when I cover it with stars, then definitely not going to want it to be a huge transition. What is going on here? What's going on? And I'm just going to put some stars across the top for a second. The ones inside the objects will be painted out, and I don't want to make them too. I'll have to redo it down here because, you know, I like to have the reflections. So let's go ahead and make a glowy light blue moon here. Maybe a purple moon. I don't know. Take a little bit of this color right here, a little bit of my white. Mix it together. Make it a little bit lighter. Just mix it. Oh yeah, that's a nice color. Some people will mix paint forever. I am way too lazy for that. So I won't be doing that. I do want some of this nice. Go ahead and do the outside line. Cover up my drawing mark. I know this looks almost gray, but it's a very, very pale violet. And I'm doing my same method, little tiny strokes. And I can, if I go outside line a little bit, I can rub it in and give it some more glow. Okay. Beautiful. Love it. I'm going to add a little bit more color over here to this. And you really won't notice it that much, but I'm going to make this side a little bit darker, so I get some feeling of having a, not a circle, but a round orb in the sky. And even a little bit more darker as I go toward the very edge. More blue. Let's see here, even get a little bit darker here. Well, I know that plants aren't really round. I'll get as round as I can. Okay, I think that's good enough on that. It's not all about that. Streaks out that I don't want. Okay, so there we go. We got this. I hope everybody can see in here. Looks rather dark on my phone. Let's see if we can turn this to you a little bit. Or not. Maybe a little closer there. Alright. So we need to color this picture in the sky. I'm going to go with an ochre, I think. Of some sort. Brown sienna there. Tiny tab of yellow ochre. Get off. Okay. I'll pull my mixing thing out. I don't want to make the picture dark. I want it to be light. But not white. I want it to be an earth tone, sort of like a earthen picture. That's a pretty color. This color reminds me of when my kids were babies. That's gross. Sorry about that, guys. All right. That'll work. I'm going to take my flat angled brush, my big guy here. For me, I am very particular with the shade of color. I work for something on how dull or vibrant I want it. Yeah. How dark or light I like it, and everything else follows. Yeah, getting your color palette right is huge and important. And a lot of people get that part wrong. So this is This is just me painting in paint here. No special technique, just filling in the lines. Having trouble staying in the lines today. Mr. Diabetes is working on me, making my hand shake. Okay. Simple handle on, nothing fancy. Decorate this bad boy here. And I'm going to take a little bit of this color here. Mix it in with some very dark pigment. Darker. There we go. Okay. Basically, that's what I got there. I can put some outlines in if I want. And a celestial picture in space. And give this some texture. Clean some of that off. Come back with the red. More red. I say red, it's actually magenta. Alright, and then I got a light source over here. Oh. Actually gonna put some light on this here. So we know that there is a light coming from the source. Trace this out a little bit. Scoot those over just a bit. This little section here is giving me the devil. Use the famous finger tool. And I think it'll work for what I've got planned. Alright, that'll do it. Because I don't want to waste too much time on that picture. Okay. And I will come back and work on that a little bit in a minute. Right now, put me on some mountains. And the mountains actually, as much as it looks like they're just very dark right now, are actually going to help lighten this whole thing up. Because it will pick up a lot of the reflection in the lights. There's many people out there who have much better technique than I do when it comes to doing this with a palette knife. I'm happy if I get the color on it, that's fine. Priscilla, hello. How you doing? One of the things I've noticed about art is that it's not ever really about one element of the art, but about multiple elements of the art. The whole thing together. How does the whole thing together look? How does the whole thing together work? Is it cohesive as a painting? Is it interesting as a painting? Does it have a glow? Always remember your light source. Correcting a typo, last statement, I meant a mistake beginner artists make. See what you say. Common mistake the fatter, no, bigger. Beginner artists make is paint the background too vibrant the farther away something is. The less vibrant of the color tends to be. I've made 3 mistakes myself as a beginner. Yeah, I make a ton of mistakes, and when I have a student. Her name is Ellie, and she prefers to paint only from dark to light. She likes to pull the light out of the dark. A lot of artists want to do it the other way. They want to have light and then make shadows. Easier to make the shadows first. That's just a little simple thing. It's easier to make the shadows blend. Now, I don't ever get as dark as hers gets. I mean, she'll start with a black background, which is fine. A lot of people do that. That's why they make black gesso canvases, so that you can start with the back. And I will if I'm doing certain things. But I don't like to start with a white background at all, because it's too bright, which is why I paint them a neutral color or a pink. Fill them in. But yeah. Okay, that looks like the mountain ranges. Now the light's over here on this side because that's the brighter part of the moon. I'll do that. Perfect. Okay. I said perfect. Didn't really mean it though. Okay. Yeah. Much easier to pull light out of darkness than it is darkness out of light. I think that's true about all things. Okay, so I'm going to mix this white back into my lighter purple of the moon color. And don't know if I have enough, so actually I wanted a little bit lighter, so I'm going to add some more white. For me, all the elements going into the artwork are very intuitive. For me, you do something so many times that you just know without thinking about it. Yeah, I never think about it, right? But I don't really teach art. I was a history teacher and English teacher, but although I've run some art classes, but it's pretty much, they asked me a question, I said, well, this is how that works. Now I know on the screen this probably looks quite white, but I assure you it's not white. It's just very light compared to the black. Okay, so let's start on this side over here. Pull in my lighter shades. Now on the back side of these, I will also be putting a shade, but it just won't be the lighter ones. I'm going to make this curve a little bit because I like the curvy look. Okay. Then I have a mountain over here. Start from here. Not as much as the bright side is going to show on this one. I need to remember that I have darker things. And this is just an old technique. This is not new. This technique of making mountains has been used for years, even before Bob Ross did it. Some of this stuff's going to get covered up. This is going to be a rather simple painting today. So, again, the side facing the light source. You may notice that along the bottom I don't drag the light color all the way down that far. I like to leave little crevices and cracks and ideas of other hues and stuff. You never know it's going to come. Now in the next section, mix a little bit of paint here. This is going to be a much darker color here. Still not extremely dark, but darker than that white. And I'm going to use it here on the back sides of the mountains to represent shadow and shade. And I'll leave parts of this black because it just looks like dark shadows. Don't want to necessarily blow it up. And then down the back side of here. And remember, it's a mountain. There's places where the light doesn't get to. It's just little cracks and crevices. The mountain that the moonlight there is not going to get to. And when I do that, I'm going to come in with a big brush here on the bottom. And normally I would repeat the sky style in the water style, but I'm not going to today. Today I want to get with still a dark color down here, a little more blue. Am I blue? The blue and magenta will go in here, and I will have that. However, it won't be dashes and dots because I'm going to be working reflections. I'm still going to want it a little darker like them reds, man. Like them magentas. Paint this puppy in. Really like doing these paintings. Very nice. Okay. Now, strangely enough, I'm going to do this. On the base of the mountain, I started with a little white on my brush. Whitish blue, I should say. And I'm just pulling down a reflection. From my mountains. Beautiful. Okay, then I take another brush. Not this one, because this one's hard as a rock. Dry this out a little bit. Start way down here and just slightly go over it. Just barely touching the canvas here. Try to keep it straight, you don't want waves. Beautiful. Yes, getting the glow. Gotta have the glow. There we go, nice glow right there. Nice glow right there. Okay, and this is the part where I'm going to add stars to, if I'm up, there it is. I'm going to add some stars down the bottom here to reflect the stars in the sky. Just because I like it. And then I'm going to take a touch of this and this. Mix them together right here. And I'm going to take my flat brush here. And this one does not have to be perfect, but try to make it nice at least. Where'd you go, my friend? There you are. Okay. I'm going to take this color right here and put it right here. Make it just a little larger. Okay. Now I'm going to let that dry just a little bit because I'm going to have to go through and swipe across it. I don't want to wipe it out too much. Reflection of the moon. And I've been thinking, how am I going to do a reflection of this guy up here? I don't want to paint another one. Let's just face it, I'm way too lazy for that. So I thought I'd just maybe take some of the color, just wiggle woggle it. Maybe a little bit more. Just wiggle woggle the color down here. So you can see sort of a, and then I'll just do the same thing I did before. I'll just take my brush and very lightly. It doesn't have to be much. There, and if I want to, I can go back with my fan brush key is to find the fan brush. There you are. Go back with my fan brush and have a few more stars here and there. Get some brighter ones up here. Alright, that looks really pretty right there. So, on this one I am going to put just there's not going to be any trees on this, but I am going to put a small bit of dark green landscape on the bottom. I'm going to start with this black here, and I'm going to pull this up. I said I'm pulling you up. Let's deal with it. Now I left the grasses lower than where the moon's reflecting because that seemed like a big waste of time if I didn't. But I do love to close in my pictures like this. They make good closures. Okay, now I'm going to come back in with some blue. Tiny touch of yellow. I'm just going to tap in some lighter, I should say, color. And I want it to be sort of a teal. Not extremely noticeable when you're looking at the painting, but when you get it home, you'll say, that is nice. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that right there. That right there is it. Okay, now we do the hard part. We are going to take my flat brush again. It's going to go in here like this, the dark blue. And it's going to come over like this. And I know you can't see the dark blue too well, but you'll see it in a minute. Okay. Then I come in with the lighter colors. Blue water pouring out. Come to the sky right there. Alright. And right from that spot, go back to the handy dandy fan brush. Come across with a really bright line there. I'm going to tap some blue in that too. And then, of course, there's going to be some fluffing up down here at the bottom, frothing. And I want that brighter. I want that to be a really bright waterfall. Just tap a little. What down here? Good. Don't need a lot. Alright, I think we got it there. So there we go. Water pouring into our pond in the nighttime sky. It's rather cool. If there's any other touches I want to put on, I really don't want to touch the foreground here at all. Let's see if I can. brightening this up a little bit. Bring it a little more to life. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I love the winter scenes. They're some of my favorites. That was a mistake. Let me just tap some light down here. Give it a little glow. 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 Like to make things glow. A little glowier. There we go. All right. All right. I'm going to come back with some bolder color right here. Bolder color right here. There we go. Old handcrafted pottery. All right, guys. I think we got it. I think everybody should be able to see this silliness. See if it gets too shiny. Sometimes it gets too shiny when I put it to the camera like this. But this is what we did today. God pouring a pitch of water out on the lake, I guess. But this, of course, is going to be on my eBay site eventually. Don't ask me when, I'm not really sure. But you can check out all the work that I have on eBay at MITAR_2742. Or you can go to my website, mtarverart.com. And you can find my work. And there it is. So, man, I hope everybody had a good time today. I thank you two guys for hanging out. Now we'll see you later. Remember, all my friends, stay happy, stay healthy, stay off my lawn.